Officials are reporting a mass casualty incident at the U.S. Steel Clairton plant. Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Shanelle Kaul for much more on what we're learning there. Shanelle, thank you for your time. What can you tell us today?
Well, Mugo, still very much a fluid situation. A huge police and emergency services presence there this hour. Initial images from the scene, Mugo, show this huge black plume of smoke on top of that facility. Local residents that we heard from actually reported feeling their homes shaking during this explosion. Now, we are told, as you mentioned, this is a mass casualty situation. But at this point, Mugo, unclear how many people were injured and what the extent of those injuries are. Now, authorities are saying this happened inside what's called the reversing room just before 11 o'clock this morning at the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke plant. This is about 15 miles south of Pittsburgh. Moments ago, our partners at KDKA just spoke to the mayor there in Clairton. Listen.
All right, I'm going to go back out now live to Chris Hoffman, who is standing by with Clairton's Mayor Richard Lattanzi. Chris, bring us up to speed. What are you learning now?
Yeah, at this point, we still know multiple people injured. We're actually going to talk with Clairton Mayor right now, Richard Lattanzi. Mayor, what are you hearing so far of this unfortunate situation?
Well, like I said, I had some people text me this morning. I was at the hospital with my dad getting some tests and said, hey, my house is shook. There was a big explosion, we think, from the mill. And then on my 911 call, I saw that they called for multiple ambulances and possible, multiple injuries and so on and so forth. And like I said, when I got back, I wanted to talk to some people in the mill. Everybody's still trying to sort it out. But at the end of the day, it was a tragedy. An explosion supposedly from a reversing room between 13 and 15 battery. And some people possibly injured, maybe critically. And my heart goes out to them and their family. And I'm just so sad about this whole day. And, the mill is such a big part of Clairton. But everyone that works there, and I don't care how young or how old you are, you got to work every day to make a living for your family. You need to go home healthy, and some people are not going to see the same husband or son or somebody that's working the mill, and it's just a sad day for Clairton.
Explain what that means. For those of us that have never been there, what does that reversing battery mean? What exactly is all that?
I don't know what the reversing room does, but I know it's very important to 13 and 15 batteries operation. So that's two more batteries that are down right now. And just recently, Clairton had a couple other batteries go down. So now these batteries will be down for a while until this can be rebuilt, which is going to be a long process. But at the end of the day, the injuries and if there's any deaths or whatever, we can't take that back. We can't rebuild that or fix that. Somebody today, is injured, and there's going to be a lot of pain and sorrow with their family and friends. And all the coworkers that work in there, what do you think they're thinking right now? This could have been me, or this could be me next week. So, they have a tough job, and it's a dangerous job, and my heart bleeds for every one of them and their families.
I was going to say, you have a very personal connection to U.S. Steel. You work just down the road at the Irvin Works. While maybe not this plant, you're still, USW bonded. What's that feeling for you? Not just as like the political leader here, but as someone that's worked in the mill, worked with steel workers.
Right. The union and the mills are my brothers and sisters. I was a union worker, and I just recently, in the last couple of years, helped get a couple dozen people hired. There could have been somebody in this mill today that I helped them get a job because they wanted a good paying job. And now I'm thinking to myself, wow, I got them a job, and now they're injured. But I mean, yeah, they're union brothers and sisters, and it would be like somebody in your family. We're all family, and I just, like I said, I'm just so distraught.
I know it's still early. Is there any potential hazard to the people of Clairton at this point? Should they be sheltering in place? Should they be doing anything like that?
Well, I would have probably got a call for somebody, a heads up higher up in the U.S. Steel to say, Mayor, you got an issue with the pollution or Clairton. I did not receive a phone call, and I heard things were under control, so I'll go with that for now.
Who's kind of being the lead on this? Is this could be county emergency services that probably handles everything?
Oh, yeah. Well, something of this magnitude, it went out to the county, and I saw an all-call, which means everybody that's available come in, mass injuries, possibly casualties. So we got people as far as Pittsburgh, Verona. I saw a couple of the ambulances, whatever. I got my guys from council out here helping out with traffic, my public works guys. Everybody's chipping in to make this work, and by the end of the day, we'll know more, but it's not going to be a pretty thing.
Obviously, a very tragic situation, but you talk about how quickly responses from all neighboring communities, even other parts of the county, getting here. How much does that help to facilitate getting these people the help they need and also make sure everyone else stays safe?
Well, we did recently have some of these questions at our council meeting where people were saying, Mayor, what about something happens on the mill? How would we know? I mean, how would we get help? You know, how are we going to get the information out? Well, this is a prime example today. So the county kind of took the lead on that. And if there's any implications environmentally and some people in Clairton got a shelter in place, I didn't receive that call yet, but the county got it all under control. And they know all the phone numbers and all the players. And yeah, I got a call from my senator, state representative, and so on and so forth. And guess what? They're all saying, Mayor, if you need something, let me know. I got a call from the Lieutenant Governor, Austin Davis. So it's a big deal for everyone.
Is there a plan in place for these? Was there a plan today to handle it?
Yes, there is. There is an emergency plan in place. They review it every 3 to 5 years. There's definitely a plan in place.
Thank you. I know you're a wanted man, or a very busy man. I'll let you go to your next one. Again, that was Mayor Richard Lattanzi of the city of Clairton describing how it was being handled here. Again, you heard plan in place. At this point, he's still finding out details just like we are. We know County Emergency Services is handling the investigation. We've asked them to see what we can further learn. We'll keep you posted both on air and online. Live in Clairton.
All right, so we were listening to our coverage from our partners at KDKA there, listening to the mayor. As the mayor mentioned, Mugo, this plant, is such a big part of the Clairton community. I'm reading about this right now, that it's actually the largest Coke manufacturing facility in North America, producing approximately 4.7 million tons of Coke each year. As for what's happening on the ground right now, the local county communications director, Abigail Gardner, is saying what's happening is a rescue operation for people who were trapped at that facility. We can also report, Mugo, that there was an explosion at this same plant back in 2010, so 15 years ago, and during that explosion, 20 people were injured. Also seeing some reaction to this morning, Governor Shapiro saying on X that my administration is now in touch with local officials in Clairton, PA, as they respond to an explosion at U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works plant this morning. So obviously many different agencies now working on this operation. There are emergency services and police on scene right now, and we are told this is a mass casualty situation, but unclear at this point, Mugo, exactly how many people are injured and the extent of those injuries. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this story and bring you the latest here on CBS News 24/7.
Yeah, a lot more to learn about that incident there. Shanelle Kaul, thank you so much for your reporting.